with our newest goalkeeper, Ryan Sandford. Ryan, you've been at Wimbledon for a few weeks now. How have you been settling in, mate?
Yeah, no, it's been brilliant, mate. Really enjoyed it. The lads have been fantastic. Obviously, been working with Bezo as well, and he's been great. And obviously, the goalkeeping union's been really good. And to be fair, I think I've settled in quite well. But I think that's been made easier just by the staff, the lads, etc. So yeah, I've really enjoyed it.
Yeah, we're just stood here near the tunnel area, and as you can see, Aaron Ramsdale's shirt there. There's been a lot of fine goalkeepers come through here. How much did you know about the pedigree goalkeeper that we've had here before you came?
Yeah, no, to be fair, I think as a goalkeeper you seem to sort of keep up with all the good goalkeepers around the leagues and stuff, and AFC Wimbledon have always had cracking goalkeepers coming through. I mean, he's probably your best example, isn't he now? How well he's been doing and stuff like that. So yeah, it's no surprise to me. Obviously now I'm working with Basil, I can see why, you know, and I feel like even in myself, like I've improved so much already. So hopefully I can just keep kicking on and carry on to work with him. He's been fantastic.
Yeah, and how did you know Bezo before you came here?
I think like just in football, you just know of people,
yeah.
And I just knew of him through different coaches and stuff like that. And when the opportunity come up for me to come in and train, I thought, yeah, absolutely, like get down there, it'd be great to work with him and obviously get back into training really. And he's been fantastic for me, and I can't speak highly enough of him.
Yeah, well, just take a walk into the tunnel area here.
Yeah.
Obviously, you've come in as, you know, to support Tans and also Alex Bass and provide competition. What is that role like for you? Because obviously you're still a young goalkeeper yourself.
Yes.
What is your sort of main target in your head?
For me at the moment, it's just to support the lads in the best way that I can. Be there for them like they've been there for me with things, especially when I didn't have a club and stuff like that. They were fantastic, Bassi and Tans and Bezo. So for me, if there's any way I can support them, then just be there for them at the moment. Obviously to push them and to push myself ultimately, because I want to get better. And yeah, that's it really, mate, to be honest.
Yeah, and then as we come around here, you can see there's quite a lot of history. We've got the old sign there from our original stadium at Plough Lane. Did you know much about the history before joining?
No, not particularly. I think you're going to explain it to me, to be fair. But no, not particularly, mate. No, not really.
Yeah, and obviously you've been at Millwall for the majority of your career. So has it been, like, how did it feel emotionally to leave them?
Do you know what? It was... I don't want to say it was tough because I sort of half expected it this season. Well, the season just gone, sorry. But I think the hardest thing is you sort of grow up there. I was there at the age of 13 and I'm 24 now, so I was there 11 years. So you sort of go from a boy to a man, and there's a lot of people there still that were there the whole way coming through. So, but you still keep in contact with them and stuff. They're only a phone call away. But yeah, I think it's probably good in my career now as well to get a change. I think sometimes when you're in one place too long, you get a little bit, not stale, but you get a bit comfortable.
Yeah.
So it's just good to come out of that comfort zone and try something new, you know?
Yeah. Obviously not a competitive game, but you came down this tunnel, what was it, last week when you played Brentford?
Yeah,
Tuesday?
Yeah.
How did it feel to play here for the first time, and what's your initial impressions of the stadium?
Oh, it's unbelievable. It's such an impressive stadium. I mean, to be fair, mate, like, you can just see the stature of it with the new stands and stuff and all that, mate, and I really enjoyed it, and it was good to get out there, to be fair, because it's been a little while since I played. But yeah, mate, it's a top stadium, and I think the club's going in a really good direction, and hopefully they can kick on this year and get promoted. That'd be great for the club.
Yeah, have you always been a goalkeeper?
For as long as I can remember now. I mean, I played out on field until I was, I want to say 9, 10, but then I just went in goal one day just basically because I couldn't run. I was absolutely knackered, you know, so I went in goal and I quite enjoyed it, and then from there on out I just stuck with it, mate, and that was it really, never changed since.
Decent. Yeah, we're going to walk back in because it started raining as it has done recently, so I'll let you walk on ahead of us.
Yeah.
Obviously, you know, there's a lot of players that unfortunately end up as free agents, and they have that period where there's a little gap in their career.
Yeah.
How did you handle that? How difficult has it been? Have you had a lot of interest?
Yeah, to be fair, it was tough, but it was made easier just because I had good people around me, you know. Obviously, like my family, the lads here, like the goalkeepers have been fantastic with me, and Bezo. Going through that situation, obviously my agent was fantastic, so they all really supported me. But yeah, like I said, it was tough, but I'm just happy to be here now and just help the team in whatever way that I can. I knew he was going to come.
There he is. Go on, just sum up your relationship with Bezo in one word. Bezo, come back.
Colonel! He is cracking, mate. I absolutely love him. Like, honestly, I can't speak highly enough of him, you know. Hopefully he's saved my career, to be fair. It won't be the first time.
So, Ryan, we've come into the museum and you've been given a yellow goalkeeping top. What do you think of it? I'm sure you've worn a lot of kits.
Do you know what, mate? I wore this the other day in the game on Tuesday, and it's unbelievable, isn't it? I really like it. And Bassi said to me that each pattern is individual, so this one will be different to the ones that are out in the club shop, etc, etc. So, but I'm a big fan, mate. So I think people should go and grab them now, to be fair, mate, while stock lasts, you know?
Love that. Brilliant marketing there from Ryan Sandford. Is it a big thing for goalkeepers? I know a lot of players switch their boots and stuff, but is wearing gloves a big thing?
I think everyone's so different. The lads will tell you, mate, I chop and change all the time. So I could have one brand one week, another brand another week.
Yeah.
So, but I think for some lads, they're happy in what they're happy with. Like, for example, I wear a roll finger, and I've always worn roll finger, whereas like Bassi will wear like it's got like a negative in the middle with 2 rolls, and Tans will wear something different. But I think you sort of find a fit that's good for you, and once it's all going well and it feels good, you just stick with it.
So Ryan, you've been taking a look around, and we've been joined by guys who are on our match day stadium tour. So they're seeing right behind the scenes, and they got to meet you as well. Massive bonus for them.
Yeah, I mean, I bet they could have met someone different in this, but I'm here now, aren't I? So
come on, big yourself up for the camera.
I'll try.
But what do you think of the history of the club? I mean, you know, literally, it was basically ripped away from us. We had to start again from scratch. Is that quite an inspiring thing for you?
Oh, absolutely. I think, obviously, I'm sort of learning today, obviously off of you. But to see where it's come from to where it's got to now is amazing. And obviously, like you said about some of the staff that founded the club that are still working here and things like that, I think it's a great story.
Yeah, definitely. And you actually know your goalkeepers, because you picked out these gloves just over here. Kelleroos.
That's because it says Kelleroos.
Oh, okay, I didn't see that bit. Yeah. Why did you have to spoil it? But seeing trophies and stuff like that, is that something that really inspires you? And do you have any memories of the playoffs, for example, when you were younger? And
do you know what?
Obviously, still young yourself.
I watched this game on television, if I can remember rightly. I can't remember who scored, but I just remember Kelleroos playing, so I think I watched it. But obviously at Millwall they got to the League One playoff final back to back. They lost the first year, and then the second year they won. So
Morrison, wasn't it, with the winner?
Morrison, yeah, quite late on against Bradford. So it just obviously just inspires you to want to get out there and be on that pitch, you know. But yeah, no, it's definitely something to be proud of, 100%.
Do you have a goalkeeper you looked up to when you were younger?
Do you know what? I was a Chelsea fan, so obviously Petr Cech, mate, was the main one really. But I think the way goalkeeping is going now, they want you to do so many different things at the very top. I mean, you look at your Reyes, you look at Sanchez. The game's evolved so much now where it's not just goalkeeping, it's not just with your feet now. It's like aggressive start positions on crosses and cutbacks. Obviously, position in relation to the ball. If it's high line, they want you behind with them to sweep, and just so much going on now. It's not as simple as it used to be. So, but I think it's good because you feel more involved in the team.
Out by pitch side. Did you ever stand on terraces when you were younger? Who was your team growing up? Chelsea, wasn't it?
Chelsea. So unfortunately, no, mate. Just because tickets were so hard to come by, and to be fair, by that point, when you're playing on the weekends and stuff, it's quite hard to find the time.
Yeah.
But I suppose we've been lucky enough where you're sort of out there playing, do you know what I mean? So you can't really complain.
Yeah. And then you've had a few spells in non-league. What's that like? You get some interesting characters in the crowd. Have you got any good stories?
I'm trying to think, mate, off the top of my head now. Nah, just the standard, mate, like where they're right on top of you though. So when someone's giving you abuse, you know exactly who it's coming from because the voice is so distinctive. So you turn around and you're like, oh, it's you again, is it? Do you know what I mean? One of them things. But no real stories, mate. Just the typical sort of non-league chaps that are in the crowd, mate, really. When
you're a young player coming up through the ranks, getting up to first team level, do you feel nervous? Is it easy to feel nervous on match day? Do you find a way of coping with it?
I think everyone feels nervous. I think it's more sort of anticipation of what's to come. And I think it's good to feel like that. I think sometimes, like, I've had my best games when I'm probably not nervous, but I'm anticipating the most, and some of my worst games have been when I haven't been. So I think it almost sort of switches you on a little bit more. And I don't think it'd be normal to not be a little bit nervous before the game, you know. So I quite not enjoy the feeling, but if it wasn't happening, I know something's wrong, you know.
What's been your best moment in football, would you say?
My best moment in football. Do you know what? I remember making my England debut when I was 14 or 15, and that was in the Victory Shield when it still existed on Sky Sports. So we played Wales at Kidderminster Harriers and won 1-0, so I got the clean sheet. So that's probably my best memory in football so far. My mum was in the crowd, and obviously all my family watched on the box and stuff, so it was a a proud moment for them more than for me, you know. So it was good.
Amazing. Any notable players in that team?
That team. I'm trying to think off the top of my head now who you'd know. Tom Davis, who was at Everton.
Yeah.
He played. Trying to think who else. Do you remember the lad, the centre half at West Ham, Reece Oxford?
Yes.
He played. But then, like the following year, we had like Mason Mount, Reece Nelson, all them sort of boys. So they were probably a little bit more known to people than the lads that I mentioned previously. But all good players, all fantastic players. So.
Yeah, definitely. And then who's that over there?
Huss, mate. Ask Fulpy, mate. And ask me. Honestly, mate.
Huss, come and say something nice about Ryan.
He's got nothing nice to say about me.
Love the train journey.
We get trained together, don't we, sometimes?
Oh, do you go into Berrylands?
I go into Berrylands, mate. There's a little train crew. You've got Huss, Eve. That's it, really. Oh, Oggs is very half-hearted. You might see Oggs on a Friday.
Really?
But he always says he's going to get trained to Huss and just never gets it, so...
He's always in David Lloyd, isn't he?
He loves that. Well, I'm not too sure. You'll have to speak to Huss about that. I'm not too sure.
Oggs and David Lloyd, Huss, tell us about it.
Mate, it's getting ridiculous now, he talks about it more than football, seriously.
It's professional now, isn't it, mate? Do you know what I mean? Recovery, stuff like that. So...
Yeah?
Yeah.
So who's providing the banter on the trains? I bet you provide most of the conversation, these lot.
No, Huss
Don't
is
have
good,
too much
mate.
to say.
Huss gets me through it. It's quite, to be fair, it's not a long train, but just general chit chat, mate. Like what you've been up to, things like that. Is he starting now?
Oh dear, look at him.
Hey, he's starting again.
Hey.
Talk about your free kicks yesterday.
Up, boys, before radio.
Honestly, you should have seen his free kicks yesterday. Awful.
His free kicks?
Awful, mate. Huss, did you see his free kicks or not? Rob's? Awful, mate.
Bad.
P-rollers. He's getting everyone else, mate. Absolute P-rollers, so...
Just to finish up, what is your sort of target? Like, obviously you're on a short-term deal.
Yeah, I think...
What do you feel like you have to do to extend your stay?
Just to get that extended. That's sort of my real goal. Like I said previously, I've really enjoyed it down there and I want that to continue. I love working with the manager, with Bezo, with all the players, the goalkeepers. So ultimately, if I can get it extended, that's sort of what I want to do. I want to stay here, I'm enjoying it, and I feel like I'm progressing under Bezo. So fingers crossed, mate, that can happen, and then we'll just go from there.
Nice one. Well, Ryan, thanks for giving us some insight, and welcome to the club, mate.
Thank you. Cheers, Wolfie. Thank you, mate.
Cheers.